My top 5 positions in the draft, excluding quarterback, I'm going to say start with the pass rusher for sure. That's number one. Wide receiver, they desperately need warm bodies at that position.
Yeah.
An interior defensive lineman, like you said, to go with Malik Collins. I feel like they got somebody that was relatively cheap, a veteran, but you want a young guy maybe that can work with Malik Collins. And, that's the way I see it. But, if you get somebody in free agency, that's great. Linebacker, that's another position. You got to get somebody who knows how to tackle running backs close to the line of scrimmage. There's just an idea for you guys. Might be worth a shot. And either a center or a guard, whichever maybe that you can't dress in free agency, whichever one, if you get a center, then get a guard in the draft. But those are my top 5. Just in that, and I'm talking about in those top 4 rounds. You can address some other things like running back and elsewhere in the later rounds where you're much more likely to find maybe a diamond in the rough and somebody that can start. Because we saw the Chiefs just had a guy that did a lot of damage in the Super Bowl at running back, Pacheco, that was a
7th rounder.
7th round pick. So you never know with those picks.
What's going to make it really hard, and I'm here for these problems, is if the Texans get the quarterback that they want at number 2 or at number 1 or whatever the case may be, however that shakes out, they get it with their first pick in the first round. What's going to be really interesting is that if Bijan Robinson is kind of hanging out there with the Texans at 12 and whether or not they decide to go that route. I don't know if they will. I mean, it would be enticing, certainly. If, maybe they anticipate him falling a little bit, you trade back, or do you trade back up with a couple of your second round picks? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I think you hit the nail on the head again too, with wide receiver, and a lot depends. Not really depends, but it could certainly make some room, and you need a good veteran presence in the receiver room, because I'm not anointing anybody with a job in that room. I mean, not even John Mechie, and hopefully he comes back 110% healthy, but I'm not anointing Nico Collins anything. And if they decide to keep Chris Moore, you need to compete.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.